So, why does a country need constitution? Read that paragraph in 1934.
In 1934, the Indian National Congress made the demand for a constituent assembly during the Second World War. This extension for an independent constituent assembly formed only of Indians and
Momentum.
momentum, and this was co-
Convent.
convened in December 1946. The photo on page 2 shows some members of the Constitution
Constituent.
Assembly
Constituent.
between December 1946 and November 1949. The Constitution Assembly drafted a constitution for independent India, free to shape their destiny at at last after 150 years of British rule. The members of the Constituent Assembly approached this task with a great idealism that the freedom struggle had helped produce. You will read more about the work of the Constituent Assembly later in the chapter. The photo uh, the photo
Alongside.
alongside shows Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru addressing the Constitution Assembly.
Yeah. The Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. Is that the thing? What happens? 1934, INC, Indian National Congress, is the political party. It demands that we have a constituent assembly. That means we will sit and make laws. Assembly means gathering of people. In like your school, there is assembly. In the prayer, when you do prayer, assembly means gathering of people. Why group of people? Why group of people will be organized for making constitution rules for the constitution? That's why they will call this constituent assembly. During the Second World War, just remember, Second World War fought between 1936-1940. Write down 1936 to 1940. In pencil, you write down that Second World War. It is just Second World War in bracketed form. You write 1936 to 1945. Sorry, 1939 to 1945. I got 1939 to 1945. Second World War fought between 1939 to 1945. So this assertions means we assume that the independent constituent assembly formed only of Indians gain momentum. That means we assert, we demand. This demand is fulfilled. This assertions for an independent constituent assembly formed. It is formed. Constituent assembly is formed by with Indians gained momentum, and this was convened in December 1946, and finally it was convened, it was accepted in December 1946. It was finally accepted. This photo on page 2 shows listen, this photo in page 2 shows some some members of the constituent assembly. There are some members. No, these are the some members of constituent assembly. Between December 1946 and November 1949, the Constituent Assembly drafted a constitution. They started in December 1946 and ended on November 1949, only making the laws. Just imagine how many years? Nearly 3 years, approximately 3 years. It is 2 year and 11 months. Nearly 3 years it takes the Constitution Assembly to make laws for independent India, free to shape their destiny at last. After 150 years of British rule, the member of the Constitutional Assembly approached the task with the great idealism that the freedom struggle had helped produce. We'll read more about work of Constitutional Assembly, how they made the law in nearly 3 years. The photo you said that the Prime Minister is addressing in past session he is addressing the Constitutional Assembly. That means why we have gathered and what is our motto, what is our aim. Today most countries in the world have a constitution. Read that paragraph. Today most countries in the world have a constitution. While all democratic democratic con- democratic democratic countries are likely to have a constitution. It is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution are democratic. Democratic. A constitution serves several purposes. First, it lays out certain ideas that form a basis of the of country that we as citizens citi- citizens aspire to live in. Or put another way, a constitution tells us that what the fundamental nature of our society. A country which usually made up of different communities of people who share certain beliefs but may not necessarily agree on all issues. A constitution helps serve as a set of rules and principles that all persons in a country can agree upon as the basis of the way in which they want the countries to be governed. Governed. That includes This includes not only the type of government but also an agreement on countries certain ideas that they all believe the country should uphold. So today most countries in the world have a constitution. We all have the set of rules. While all democratic countries are likely to have a constitution, it is not necessary that all countries that have a constitution. So it is not necessary that if there is a constitution in that country must be democratic. It is not democratic maybe if there is also a constitution. Understand? Like you can give the example of North Korea. Okay, North Korea there is a constitution, but it is not a democratic country. That means people have not the supreme power. Uh, the constitution serves several constitution means there are so many purposes, so many ends. First, it lays down certain ideals that form the basis of kind of country that as we citizens aspire to live in. First, it is the which type of country we want to live. the country must be peace, secular, and developed like that. We think that we live in a country in a peaceful manner, in a peaceful way. So it is less that the ideal on the basis. That means we want this basis, this type of a country has to be. Or put another way, Constitution tells us what the fundamental nature of our society. Basically, in Constitution, what will we find? We will find rules. We will set rules. That rules will be followed by the people in the society. So, what the society wants, what the people wants, according to them, a constitution was made. First thing, a country is usually made up of, obviously, if there is a country, there are different people, there are different communities. Um, so they say their beliefs are different. Yes or no? Their beliefs are different. Some people say that on Sunday non-veg will not be eaten, but some people say that on Sunday non-veg will be eaten. Like that. But may not necessarily agree on all issues. But there different thoughts, different ideas. They will not be equal. A constitution helps serve as a set of rules and principles. So a constitution was a constitution. In a constitution, there are set of rules in which all the people agree on all issues. A constitution helps serve as a set of rules and principles that all persons in a country can agree upon as the basis of way in which they want the country to be governed. So, in that constitution, the people want laws in which they will be governed, be ruled. This includes not only type of government, we will also in the constitution will see that what type of government, and we will also see that what are the ideals, like we follow Gandhian principle, or some person follow Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose principle, some follow Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. There are some ideal person in your life. So yes, they will all believe the country should uphold. That means in constitution we can easily notice that what type of government is and what type of rules we follow, what type of ideal we follow. Then coming to next, let us try and understand what we mean by this through two contrasting situations. Just in Nepal, it is a neighboring country of India. Just you have to do search Nepal in your atlas book. Here you can also see in Indian map. Listen. Here you can see that Nepal. Where is Nepal? Just in the upper part of India, that is north part. In north part, it is the Nepal. Did you notice? Okay. Whenever you will see, sorry, whenever you ask in whenever there is a country name or there is a place name, you always try to find this place in map or in atlas. It will help you. A country that borders India on the net. Until recently, Nepal was a monarchy. Before that, it was a monarchy. What is monarchy? That means the king rules, king or queen rules there. The previous constitution of Nepal, which had been adopted in 1990, reflected the fact that final authority rested with the king. That means before the constitution, before the monarch, before 1990, there was the uh, rule was monarchy. In Nepal, there was the rule of a monarchy. A people's movement in Nepal fought for several decades to establish democracy. After that, people fought for their right and for democracy, and in 2006, finally succeed in putting an end to power of king. Finally, monarch was ended, and king, all the powers of king was given up. The people had to write a new constitution to establish Nepal as a democracy. In 2006, Nepal became a democratic country. And they write their constitutions, their rules. The reason that they did not want to continue with the previous constitutions, that means they did not want to follow the monarch's rule because it did not reflect the idea of country. That means it did not suit all the people of that country. That's why they wanted to change the rules and they wanted to change the government. That means the monarch system was totally abolished. And they have to, and so that they have to fought for that. Means they wanted to a democracy. They wanted to totally and uproot that monarch system in Nepal. In 2000, so that is a question. In which year Nepal wrote the new constitution? It is 2006. Or it will be asked that in which year the monarch system was abolished in Nepal? It is 2006. As in the game of football, in which a change in constitution will game altogether. If there are rules and rules are made by people and the rules are changed by also people. Nepal, by moving from a monarchy to democratic government, needs to change all in constitutional rules. As the Nepal shifted from monarchy to democratic, the rules were changed. Likewise, this is why the people of Nepal adopted a new constitution. As the rules changed, so the constitution also changed. So the new constitution was adopted. Okay, for the country in 2015. In 2006, the monarch system was abolished, but the new constitution was set up in 2015. This the caption alongside elaborates Nepal's struggle for democracy. Here the caption: the country of Nepal has witnessed several people struggle for democracy. There was a people struggle in 1990 that established democracy that lasted for 12 years until 2002. But in 2002, King Gyanendra, citing the Maoist uprising in the countryside as his region, began taking over different aspects of the government with the army's assistance. The king then finally took over the head of government in February 2005. In November 2005, the Maoists joined the political parties to sign a 12-point agreement. This agreement signalized to the larger public as imminent return to democracy and peace. In 2006, this people's movement for democracy began gaining immense force. It repeatedly refused the small concessions that the king made, and finally, in April 2006, the king restored the third parliament and asked the political parties to form a government. In 2008, Nepal became a democracy after abolishing the monarchy. The above photos show scenes from the people's movement. In which way? In 2006, they started a movement. Then the second important, it is the first purpose, first important that the first aspect. So we want to make a set of rules by means of which our society want to set the ideals or which basis the society would be set up. So for this purpose, constitution was written or constitution was made. Second important purpose is to defeat the nature of rule. I think it will be not covered today. It is the broader concept. So we will discuss the second important. First purpose you understand. In example, you can also write that why. What is the so your homework is why we need a constitution and what are the purposes. What are the first purpose of a constitution? We will write that first purpose of constitution and with an example, suitable example like that. So thank you for watching.